Ah, yes. After one mediocre game and one god-awful, horrible piece of steaming shit, we are back to something of quality. Super fucking Castlevania. This game brings back many, many wonderful memories of a time when I didn't give a shit that I couldn't beat the game, I just loved the game. Now, you may or may not realize from previous commentary, I am a raging Castlevania fan. For all the good things I might say about Contra, Castlevania is pretty much the same thing for me. Now, a lot of people wouldn't assign, the universe-long penis as a merit of Castlevania. I would disagree. Just look at the hero. The man's main whip is his cock. But anyway, this was actually a very early release for the Super Nintendo. And it's a fantastic example of the Super Nintendo at its finest, graphically and gameplay-wise. For all intents and purposes, it's a remake of the original Castlevania. You are Simon, my cock is 18 feet long Belmont, once again. Only this time, you have a slightly expanded moveset. You can whip in any direction, and you can just fling your whip around wildly, which does less damage, but it serves as a wonderful shield. So gameplay-wise, there's not too much new. It's just the execution is fantastic. Fabulous music, fabulous control. I mean, Simon Belmont, no Belmont, controlled nearly as well as Simon in my experience. Now, my experience only goes so far. I have not played any of the recent handhelds, although I was a huge fan of everything up to Symphony of the Night. Although, and I'm probably in the minority here, I do not consider Symphony of the Night the peak of the Castlevania franchise. I consider it very high on my list of favorites. I think Simon's Quest may always be my favorite. It was when I was a kid. Pretty well is now. But that's just my opinion. Either way, this game holds true to the original's, what do we want to call it? The original's desire to fuck you over. Now, I've been a frequent I've been a frequent guest of the Castlevania dungeons online. Now, they're, in general, I guess a decently mixed group in terms of tastes. There are a lot of Dracula X, PC Dracula X, or whatever that system was that it came out for, and Symphony of the Night fans on there. And their review on there said that this game was, on the whole, easier than the NES incarnations. I would greatly disagree with that statement. Yes, it controls better. Yes, there are, in general, for most of the game, fewer cheap fuck you moments that Castlevania is so well known for. But when they do them, they're just so blatant and so shameless and so unapologetic about it. I would at least say that this game is, if not quite as hard as Castlevania 3, very close second to it. The only thing that really made Castlevania 3 hard, in my opinion, was that one room with all the falling-ass blocks. That if you wanted to get through easily, you had to fly up as a bat with Alucard. That was not fun. Otherwise, it wasn't tremendously difficult in comparison to the first or this one. Of course, it's been a while since I played it, so my memory could be whitewashing the facts. Either way, most of the Super Castlevania levels are relatively tame, I will admit, until you get inside the castle. Like this level. This level's pretty well an intro level to get you used to the controls. There's nothing truly threatening here. That will change very quickly. Up here, for example, you have those little, very obvious dark brown ledges there. If you jump on them, they will flip over and drop your ass into well, the first floor. But apparently that's enough to kill this unbelievable dude, the Duke Nukem of the Middle Ages. Suspending your disbelief, yes, right there is an example. Truly, what I have to say is the worst part about this game is that you'll see these candles every now and then. Like the one back there. It's kind of oddly placed. You might try to whip it as you're going across those spinning platforms. You'll see candles that are much more oddly placed, and you have to look at them and think, oh my god, there's some big trap of death there that's gonna shave my balls off. There must be something good in that candle. No, there isn't. If there's a candle that's in a very odd, difficult to reach place, it's gonna fuck you. That's just a simple fact. It will be a dagger. It will be a fucking dagger. And your triple shot cross that you've been saving the entire game for the boss will be fucked. And then so will you. And, of course, as a side note, the measure of any good game is whether or not you can drop your sack on your fallen opponent.